It's time for the Lance James Show.
Oh, those guys are awesome.
They sound kind of hot.
Only one of them's even a lawyer. I think it's a stupider one.
Lance James. He seems like a nice guy.
I wouldn't want my grandkids listen to that kind of garbage.
Interesting. Intriguing. They're funny. Back time in Ukraine, we would call them prидurki.
The following program is brought to you in living color
on Talk 650.
It is 7:06, and welcome to the Lance James Show.
The show where we discuss hot topics of the day with you, our callers, and answer your legal questions toll-free at 1-866-331-TALK.
He is America's lawyer, Lance Daniel.
And he's Jim Naylor, award-winning producer and radio black belt. Welcome.
And today we're talking about Proposition 8, the ban on same-sex marriage in California. Does it take away people's fundamental rights, or is it unnatural and an abomination?
Jim, there are two camps, the live and let live fairness camp versus the we don't like it for religious reasons camp.
How do you feel about the topic? Give us a call at 866-331-TALK.
This is the Lance James Show.
Your phone calls coming up next.
The Lance James Show on Talk 650.
Babies will do everything they can to keep you.
Cost maximum loan amount $30,000. Expires 1/4/2011.
Now, back to the Lance James Show on Talk 650.
Welcome back to the Lance James Show. Today we're talking about Proposition 8, the same-sex marriage ban. Give me a little background on that, please, Lance.
Proposition 8 amended the California Constitution to define marriage as between a man and a woman. And since that date, big surprise, it's been in the courts.
Okay, Prop 8 was passed in November of 2008. Now, in August of this year, a judge ruled Proposition 8 was unconstitutional.
Some say activist judge, some say right-thinking judge.
Vaughn Walker.
Vaughn Walker, the chief district judge in San Francisco.
Now the case is being looked at by
the Ninth Circuit.
The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals.
And they say, hold on, not so fast. Everything stays in place until further notice.
So right now, same-sex couples cannot marry.
Correct. So first it was illegal, then it was legal, now it's illegal. And maybe it'll be legal again.
And it'll probably be legal again because this case is going all the way to the
United States Supreme Court.
Right.
Let's go to the phone lines. Elaine wants to join us. Welcome to the Lance James Show.
I don't understand why the homosexual world is insisting on calling their unions a marriage. They can form civil unions. They can have the same advantages as married couples do, but to call it a marriage...
So you're saying you want it to be separate but equal?
It should be separate, yes. It should.
Separate but equal. Didn't we try that? It kind of didn't work.
Separate but equal is inherently not equal.
Exactly right.
Well, why do they insist on calling it a marriage? Why is that so important?
Because people accept marriages with a certain understanding in society, and anything that's a civil union or a domestic partner act is second class to that. It's second rung. The person is therefore being treated as a second-class citizen because of that. And if you're going to treat someone under the law as a second-class citizen, the government has to have a darn compelling reason why.
But the government cannot change the meaning of marriage. Marriage has been defined and recognized universally as only between a man and a woman.
That's not true. I mean, if you take a look at England, if you take a look at other Western countries, currently they don't define it that way. There's even states in the United States that don't define it that way.
So you think that homosexual unions should be called marriage, the same as heterosexual? Do you think that that is going to create problems with the moral fabric of our society?
I think the moral fabric of our society is the cause of the problems with the moral fabric of our society, and it doesn't have really a lot to do with other people getting married.
Marriage needs to stay the way it always has.
Okay, but what are you worried about? What's the harm?
Good question. Yeah, what harm is being done?
It is a lot of harm. In a Christian worldview, it is extremely harmful.
Well, what's the harm specifically?
Well, yeah, specifically, what is the harm?
It is one of the behaviors listed in the Bible as being an abomination to God, and it will incur God's judgment. It is something that the Bible describes as gross immorality. It is a dishonoring of the body.
How are they dishonoring their body?
Because they are not possessing their vessel in holiness.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, can't you see that a segment of our society is being denied some of their constitutional rights?
For no compelling reason.
No, it's not a matter of constitutional rights. The Bible very clearly...
But we're not talking about the Bible, we're talking about the Constitution.
Traditionally, it's always been recognized as between a man and woman. You can look marriage up in any dictionary and it'll tell you. Marriage is very, very specific between a man and a woman. I just don't understand how any human court can change that.
Okay, Elaine, thank you for your call, and we'll just have to see what the courts say.
Waiting to respond to Elaine is Leah. She is a lesbian. She has a wife. Welcome to the show, Leah. My first question is, do you feel discriminated against that you can't be married in the state of California?
Absolutely. I do feel discriminated against. I feel that there is a group of people who are somehow deciding that they are better than me. They're more valuable than me, in a sense, is what it feels like. I don't understand why somebody gets to vote or have anything to do with what my choice is in terms of how I have happiness on this planet.
What do you say about the people who say that same-sex marriage is somehow ruining the sanctity of the institution of marriage?
I don't understand how my respect for the institution of marriage and the choice to participate in it could in any way harm the sanctity of marriage. My choice to participate in a marriage is because I believe in the concept of two people making a choice to commit themselves to one another, to plan their life as a couple who are making their home together, making their future together, raising their children together on occasion. I just lost my mother. She passed away. You know, my wife was there with me throughout all of that. She was there when I was in the grief of the loss of a parent. I think that any time any two people choose to love one another and make a comment to the surrounding community who supports them that they're choosing this person and they want to spend the rest of their life with them and be responsible for them, how could we do anything but support that?
Let me ask you this. You mentioned children. Are you planning on having children, adopted children, you and your partner?
We actually do have two sons. They're from my wife's prior relationship. They're 14 and 16. And they're doing very well in school. Both are planning to go to college.
All right. So do you and your wife encourage them one way or the other when it comes to...
being straight, being gay?
Yeah. How do you handle that?
No, we don't encourage them one way or another, other than that we encourage them. We want them to be happy, and we want their life to be...
Did they take a teasing or ribbing? Are they socially affected by their classmates because they had, I guess, a mother who was married to another woman?
So far, I haven't heard any of teasings or ribbings that they've had from classmates. The 16-year-old has a group of his friends around almost every day in and out of the house. Friends are here with us for dinner. They're here swimming in our pool. They're using the tools in the garage to fix their bikes.
And they seem to be fine with it.
Yeah, they seem to be fine with it.
There are many that call in and they say, well, it's a choice. It's a choice to be gay. It's a choice to be a lesbian. Do you feel that's true?
I do not. I don't feel that's true. And I am sadly a person who went through some years and some broken relationships because I was not comfortable with acknowledging who I was. You know, I hurt some people's hearts, some men's hearts over the course of my lifetime and my own heart. But no, I don't think it's a choice. I think it's who you are, just like whatever color eyes you have or if you're left-handed or right-handed.
Let me ask you one more quick question. How did you feel when your state that you live in passed Proposition 8?
Sad. Very, very sad. You try not to take it personally. You try to realize that it takes a while for people to learn. And the fact that our friends were very supportive to us and straight friends I'm talking about, you know, and so we just have to feel our sense of sadness, the fact that a large group of people don't understand and really want to act out of fear because they don't understand and they're willing to learn, and just hope that the rational judicial system will take care of this and resolve it and put it behind all of us.
Leah, thank you so much for
Leah.
taking the time to join us, okay?
You're welcome.
All right.
Thanks now. Take care.
See, she knows. She's living the life, and you can hear it. Your legal questions for America's Lawyer coming up next.
The Lance James Show on Talk 650.
Why drink the water from my hand?